All right, so in Java, if we have a method, and you remember our methods, so let's say public static void print array. We just want to print our array, int array. That's all we want to do. So let's iterate through this array, int I equals 0. I is less than array dot length, I plus plus, system dot out dot println array at index I. Close that folder. So what I've done is I create this method called print array. You pass in a formal parameter, an array called array. And then what we do is we iterate through that array and we print out each value. Right? That's what this method is doing. Iterate through this array and print out each value. So in my main method, I'm going to call this print array. I'm going to pass in my scores. Right? So what's different about arrays is previously we were doing pass by value. Basically, if I have a method, and actually this method, public static void print value, int val, system dot out dot println val. Right, previously, if I have a method and I call, actually I can do it up here. If I call print val u, which is my method down here, and I pass in scores at index 0, right? Just print me out the first one. What's going to happen is, and I delete this call, what's going to happen is this is passed by value, right? Because this is a primitive data type, an integer, a copy of this value is going to be sent to this method, and this method will use that over here. So it prints, it's passed by value. It passes that value to the method, creates a copy, and it's going to print that value. So we visualize this. I go forward, we populate our array again with all of our cubed i's. So when I get to this line, print value, what you're going to see is going to jump down here. We pass in scores at index 0, which should be 0. And so what happens is it passes a copy of it. So inside my print value method, this is actually a new variable. It's a copy of whatever that value was. And then it prints it out down here. Prints. All right? So that's passed by value. It passes the value. It passes a copy of whatever we pass, whatever parameters we pass. With an array, however, arrays are passed by reference. So what happens is it'll pass a reference or a pointer to that array. It won't copy the whole thing. So if I visualize this, what you'll see is populate the whole array again. What you'll see is when we get down to this method, which has an array as a formal parameter, you'll see another pointer to the same array. It won't make a copy. You see, inside my print array method, this array parameter points to the same array in memory. It does not create a new copy of it. And then it goes about doing whatever this method is doing. It's printing out each value. But again, if we go back, pass by reference, it passes a pointer. So it points to the same array. It does not create a copy. All of our previous methods were passed by value. They passed a copy of whatever parameter we use. Versus pass by reference, which passes a reference or a pointer to whatever parameter we pass in or we use in our method. right? So just note, arrays are passed by reference. Previously, all of our other methods were passed by value. They made a copy of our parameters. Whereas with arrays, they just create or they pass the pointer to those parameters. Okay. Does that make sense? Thumbs up if it makes sense, thumbs down if I need to cover it again.